everybody, this is Pragati Tiwari. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I am going to talk about a very personal experience of my life. An experience which is very personal to me, close to me, and I'm going to get really vulnerable in this video. Why? Because I want to share it with you. Because I definitely know that there must be students right now who must be at a place where I was, and I really want to help you guys. I really don't want anybody to be at the position where I was, and I really want to tell you all what is the reality of this CA market. So let's get started. This experience is this is going to be a story time basically, and this experience is of my CA intermediate exams. So basically I cleared my CA foundation in May 2022 attempt with 331 out of 400 marks, and I have always been a school topper. I have always been one of the high scoring students, right? I've always been one of those students who top in every examination, be it periodic exams, final exams, whatever. So I've always been a topper throughout my school days. I wouldn't say always, at least from 6th, 7th class I have been a topper. So and also for CA foundation, I cleared my CA foundation with 331 out of 400 marks, and I scored 96 out of 100 in my accounts examination. So I was really proud of my marks, and I was very proud of I was very confident about myself, and I was very confident about my studies and everything. At least studies was a part of my life where in my opinion nobody could defeat me. It was a part where because also in all of my cousins I have been the topper one. You know how you see those memes where there is this one cousin and everybody is jealous of them and everybody is tired of hearing their taunts and everything. I used to be that cousin. So I've always been very proud and very confident about my marks and my education and my studies, and even in CA foundation I scored good marks. So the thing is, till 12th my father used to tell me that it's all fine, like these school examinations are nothing. Once you come into the competitive environment you'll understand what actually is studying. But CA foundation was a competitive exam, and I scored really well in my CA foundation examination as well. So I was really confident of my marks. Then CA intermediate happened and I flunked my first attempt, and I had always dreamt of pursuing my articleship in a Big Four. Always, like since the day I started preparing for my CA examination, since the day I got to know that I want to be a CA, I started researching on it, and that is when I got to know about Big Four. And since that day I had only dreamt of doing my articleship in a Big Four. So the time when I failed my first attempt of CA intermediate examination, which was May 2023 attempt, I was devastated. Like, I didn't know what to do. I had no idea. The fact is, I knew where I had gone wrong. That is one thing that I was completely sure of. Even before the results were declared, I knew that I am going to fail. I had told my parents that I am going to fail, that my papers have not gone up to the mark, not live up to the mark. I knew, and I had told them that my papers have not even gone to a level where I can pass. I had told this. Me failing the CA intermediate examination for my first attempt was not a shocker, to be very frank and to be really honest. But what was a shocker, and what I was not expecting is, and what I did not think about is that my dreams were going to get shattered. Like, I had always dreamt of getting into a Big Four and doing my articleship from a Big Four, but But when the results came, it suddenly hit me that now I will not be pursuing my articleship in a big four. Like, I have to settle for a mediocre firm, a mid-sized firm. And why? Because all that I knew from my CA experience, from the people that I had met and the videos that I had watched, was that only rankers or the ones who clear their CA intermediate in their first attempt are the ones who get an articleship in a big four. That was what I had in my mind, and that is the only thing that I knew. So even when I failed my CA intermediate examination in my first attempt, it did not shake my confidence on my education, because I was always, and I had always been confident about my education, and I knew that I can score much better than what I have scored, and I knew where I had gone wrong, and I knew what to do. Like, I knew what do I have to make right, where have I gone wrong, and how to make it right. I knew. And the day that my first attempt results came, I knew that I am going to pass in my next attempt. But also, what I knew was that now I might not get into a big four. Because why? Because I am going to be a second attempter. I did not clear my CA intermediate in my first attempt, and obviously I have not achieved a rank. But because I had such huge confidence into my education and into my academic skills, I thought, it's fine. I did not clear my CA intermediate in my first attempt. That is still fine. I can still get into a big four. How? By achieving a rank. Obviously, that is the only other option left, right? So what I did was, I started studying, and I did not even give myself one day to think about it and to think what to do right, because I already knew where had I gone wrong and how to make it right. So I just started studying, and I just got into it that I now have to achieve a rank in order to get into a big four. But I got to know, and I got to know this maybe after 10 to 15 days post my CA intermediate first attempt results were announced. I came across a video on YouTube, and it said that you can only achieve a rank in CA examination if you appear for all the papers, which means all the 8 papers. In my attempt, there used to be 8 papers. So it was a shocker. Like, I was shocked. I was completely shocked. And then I went to the ICI website to check, because how come nobody has ever mentioned this? And so I went to the ICI website, and guess what? It was true. You literally have to appear for all the papers in order to achieve a rank. And guess what? I had 61 marks in advanced accounting in my CA intermediate first attempt. So basically, I had an exemption in advanced accounting, and hence I was not required to appear for it. But in order to get a rank, you have to appear for all the examinations. So dumb as I was, I thought, let's surrender the exemption. Why not? Why can I not surrender my exemption? Anyways, it's 61 marks, just 1 marks above 60, just 1 marks because of which I have got an exemption, and I am damn sure that I can achieve exemption again, and I'm damn sure that I can achieve above 80 in advanced accounting in my next attempt, because also advanced accounting used to be my favorite subject. So I decided to surrender my exemption. Also, I just had an exemption in one subject with just 1 mark, so I thought, let's go for it, because I have to achieve a rank, because big fours is not what I can compromise on. So then I went to YouTube, and I'm searching for videos how to surrender exemption, how to surrender CA exemption, CA exam exemption, and I never got a single video on that topic. And at that time I got to know that it's not common to surrender an exemption. But then I went to the ICI website, and I went to their helpline number, and then I talked to them, and they told me that you have to go to the regional branch. You have to courier to the regional branch or something in order to surrender your exemption. So what I thought, regional branches, so I live in Bangalore. So what I thought, in my opinion, I thought that Bangalore branch is the regional branch. Like, I am from Bangalore, I am studying in Bangalore, I am living in Bangalore. So for me, Bangalore branch is the regional branch. So I told my father, and my father, being a supportive father that he always has been, both of us went to the Bangalore branch office, and I told them that I want to surrender my exemption. And the reception lady looked at me with shock, and then she tried to manipulate me and my father into not doing it. Like, she tried to convince us that it is not a rational choice, it is not a rational decision. She tried to put some brains into me, but dumb as I was, I thought I would not listen to her. So she contacted the ICI help desk, and they told her the procedure for exemption, which is basically you have to basically post an affidavit to the regional branch. That is what you have to do. So as soon as my father heard the word affidavit, he told me, let's go. And I said, what happened? And then he's like, let's go. So I was like, okay, whatever, like maybe he has some idea on how to get affidavit, because I had no idea what is an affidavit. So I just went along with him. And then he was like, let's go home. And so I went home with him. And after we reached, I asked him what happened. And he told me, we are not doing this. And I said, what happened? And then he's like, I'm not going to go to court and get you an affidavit for this, to surrender an exemption. And that is when I got to know that affidavit is basically a declaration that you have to give, a signed declaration that you are willing to surrender the exemption. So I started crying because my Big Four dream was getting shattered in front of me. Like, I could see my Big Four dream getting shattered. I was like, oh my god, if I don't surrender the exemption, then I don't achieve a rank, then I don't get into a Big Four. And I just started crying. I just closed my door and I started crying. I cried. But my father didn't know. But my mother knew. So, the kind of mother that my mama is, and how all of Indian mothers are, she just went to my father and started shouting on him. What happened? Why is she crying? And then he got in full angry mode. And he came to my room. He barged in. And he's like, what happened? And I was like, nothing. And I'm just crying my eyes out, bawling my eyes out. And he's like, see, if you wanted to achieve a rank, you should have done that in your first attempt. Life does not give second chances to everybody. You have to make best use of the opportunity that you have got. If you wanted to achieve a rank, you should have done that in your first attempt. Do you know why are they asking for an affidavit for exemption surrender? Because passing a single CA paper takes students years. It takes years for students to pass just one single paper. Due to a single paper, there are so many students who are not able to become a CA because they are failing just one paper. And you are just going to surrender an exemption in a paper. It is a huge deal, and that is why they are asking for an affidavit, a legal evidence that you literally are declaring to surrender your exemption. It is not just a game. It's not just all games and fun. It's a serious matter. If you wanted to achieve a rank, you should have done that in your first attempt. Life does not always give you second chances, and passing even a single paper of CA takes students years of hard work and dedication. And that's when I understood that he is right. He is literally right. And then after maybe a day, because that day full went into crying. Then I was talking to one of my friends and she told me, don't worry, they take 2 attempts, they take students who clear in 2 attempts, 3 attempts as well. Don't worry, so many of our friends have got into with multiple attempts into Big Four. So don't worry, focus on your exams, focus on clearing your exams in this attempt, and then you will definitely get into a Big Four. And believing on that, trusting on that, and after watching a lot of YouTube videos that yes, people do get into Big Four for their articleship even despite having multiple attempts, I believed that yes, I can do it and I can still get into a Big Four. There are still chances, minute, but there are still chances. I again started studying and I studied really hard and I cleared my C intermediate in November 23 attempt, my second attempt, and today here I am pursuing my articleship in a Big Four despite having multiple attempts, despite being a second attempter. So here is a story from my life which I hope gives you some hope and gives you some faith that you can do it. You literally can do it, and despite having multiple attempts, people do get into Big Fours and you can be one of them. Just trust on yourself, have faith on yourself, and study hard. Study really, 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 really hard. Give your fucking best. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you.